Ooh, he threw a car at me. Fast.
I don't.
I have 5 health and no shields.
There we go.
Okay.
But anyway.
All right. So we're back.
Yeah. Sorry about
Monster
that.
Boy. So Monster Boy, what I really liked about that, outside of the amazing theme song, is that the character design of basically you're a prince or something like that, and you can transform into different monsters. The character design was really identifiable, like references. Like I saw one monster that really looked like Lionel from Thundercats. I saw another like frog type character that looked like another older video game character whose name I can't remember.
You mean
right
Slippy from Star Fox?
Yeah, from Star Fox, yeah.
He
That's what
really
it reminded
look
me
like Slippy,
of.
but it did.
He
Okay.
looked pretty Slippy-esque.
It was pretty slippified.
Just not as like useless.
Dies all the time.
Yeah. Like.
Ow.
But yeah, it looked really cool. So that was the first one. The second one that I really enjoyed was called The Gardens Between. And did you guys see that one? It's the puzzle game.
I think I may have missed that because I had that on in the background as I was tweaking around on the thumbnail.
Ah, gotcha. Well, this one was a puzzle game, and it's kind of like a 3D puzzle, almost like a tower puzzle type thing, and it really reminded me of Captain Toad's Treasure Tracker, which I haven't played because I didn't get the Wii. I didn't get a Wii U until later on in its lifetime, and I didn't buy very many games for it, and I don't have the Switch yet. But that game always fascinated me, and some of the interactions that you had with that game looked really cool. Then there were 2 8-bit action games. One was called Moonlighter, and the other was Children of Morta. They looked really cool. The next game really interested me. It was called Everspace, and it's a roguelike space shooter.
That one. I remember that one. That is the one that I will say was my favorite.
Well, tell me about it. What was it like?
Okay, so it's a space shooter. The graphics looked amazing for it. Third person space shooter. The graphics looked amazing for it.
Sharp.
It seemed like
That's what I'll give the graphics. Very sharp.
It looked like it had a little bit of a storyline where you're like maybe you're a bounty hunter or you used to work for a bounty hunter team. Thank you.
You are welcome.
Kind of fun.
And yeah, so I was sitting there thinking to myself, well, the other space shooter that I'm interested in, the Cloud Atlas. Why do I call it Cloud Atlas?
It's whatever that thing one, the place that with the figures, Ubisoft.
Yeah, the Ubisoft game that's coming out.
Has Star Fox in it. The reason why Vass is gonna buy the Switch.
Yeah, well, one of the many reasons. I still have to play Legend of Zelda. But yeah, if that game wasn't coming out, like this would be my number one reason because I've been wanting to play a really good space shooter for a long time and I haven't been able to find one.
Yeah.
So now I have 2 coming to the Switch. How amazing is that?
That's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. You could
the
avoid people on the go with your Switch.
Well, it's not like there's going to be a lot of commute. I will be commuting from my bedroom to my office. So,
yeah.
I mean, it could be treacherous. A family member could ask you for something.
Where are my sunglasses?
Oh my God, you know that's going to happen.
I can't find them.
Mom, they're on your head.
Oh, that's where they were.
Have you met my mom?
I mean, is that just a normal occurrence for parents? Because I think it is.
I thought that's a mom thing.
Yeah.
I think
just
it
a
is.
general thing.
Moms are kind of
For the slightly aloof.
Slightly aloof.
I only have 2 more games, but the next one is called Windjammers 2. Apparently, I did not recall this. Windjammers came out on, I think, the SNES, and it was a flying disc game. Basically, it was anime frisbee.
Oh, that was hilarious. All right. When I saw that, I was laughing out loud when I saw that. I was like, literally, this is like if you were to take just about any serious anime with powering up and put it into their arm to throw a frisbee. Like that's what this is about.
It looked amazing.
DBZ meets frisbee.
It was like Ace of Tennis or something like that, right?
Oh, yeah.
Haikyuu, Hanebado, that kind of thing.
Slam
I've heard good
dunk.
things about.
This is good.
Food
I
Wars,
actually
but we'll
really
hit
like
that
that.
on our.
Oh, that's
Food Wars.
man, that's extra good.
Boy.
One day we're gonna just have an anime cast one day.
One day.
Anyway.
It was in our
next
original
game
plans.
I really wanna... Oh crap. This is true. And the last game that I want to talk about from it wasn't one that I was interested in playing, but I really wanted to talk to you guys about it. It was the Prison Architect game.
Oh yeah.
Prison Architect.
That's weird. Okay. I didn't really like it or the premise.
Okay, so first of all, it looks gloriously terrible. And I mean terrible in that you are the owner of a prison, and this is your persona in game, and you are building a place to nurture and rehabilitate your prisoners. If you want to. If not, you can be like the terrible warden that
from
appears
hell.
in every like TV drama and or bad movie / good movie, Shawshank Redemption, right?
Yeah.
And so then there are 2 expansions, one of which includes the psych ward that gives you a new class, the criminally insane.
Because that's what I want added to my game, crazy people.
And then this summer they are adding an escape DLC.
An escape
Escaped crazy people.
And so I'm really curious about that one because it looked like there was a way that you can upload your prison to like a server or something like that, and other people can look at it. So
community shared prison maps.
Yeah,
dude, people are gonna come up with the most awful and egregious things possible for that game.
Oh yeah.
So then I'm wondering, like with the escape DLC, can you download their map and try and escape from another person's prison?
We probably could,
basically
right?
what's going to happen is you're going to find out, they're gonna like, escape from my prison. You're going to get near the end and be like, it's unescapable. And then you're going to die.
I mean, you played The Sims, right? The prison is going to be a pool, and they're going to take away the ladder when you get in.
It's exactly that. That's it. The old ladder bait and switcheroo.
I don't like the premise of that game. It makes me uncomfortable. I don't want to.
That makes you uncomfortable.
I don't.
All the things you play.
Hey, I'm good with cyberpunk. All right, like pulling out people's eyeballs and putting in a synthetic one. You can like fucking see yourself from another perspective as your eyeball gets slotted in. I'm okay with that levels of creep. All right. Building a prison to house people that may or may not be guilty is something that I don't want to deal with. Right.
Crazy people that may or may not be guilty.
Yeah.
So basically, my final thoughts on this is like someone is collecting this data. I don't know what nefarious purposes they are using it for.
Introducing
collect this data by giving them nefarious jail-building mobile track records.
The next
man, look at this
service
character.
from
Someone's
Amazon.
gonna look over his shoulder and be like, "Oh, good God."
No, I'm just
Amazon
saying,
prison.
I'm just saying, if there's not a study, like what is the prison?
Does Nintendo just want to know how demented their fan base is? Is that what this is about?
Well,
be like, oh man, we got some disturbed people. Crank out their G-rated games.
But no, seriously, like the prison experiment that is always quoted, and then you find out that the guy who was running it was actually a bit of an asshole. You know the one that I'm talking about? Was it Yale or Princeton?
Oh, you mean all of them? Like the Stanford prison experiment?
That's it, the Stanford prison experiment. I can't remember.
The people in this game, you're just gonna it'll queue up, and all the Japanese businessmen are gonna be sitting there, and the head guy is just gonna stand up and go, "Yanero!" Oh my God!
Son of a bitch! That happened.
Oh man! All right, so off from the Switch. What was that next one? I think
it's time for Cyberpunk.
All right, let's do it. Let's get it over with. Get it out of our system.
It's time.
God,
for
that game looks so good. They're
it
so
looks
right about how
amazing.
good the world creation is, and the generation of people and motion and movements and interaction, and it's stunning
So
and utterly.
we need a little bit of preface before we dive all the way into this. This was a 48-minute demo that they released in tandem with Gamescom. I'm sure that they were
A
at
quick overview of
Gamescom,
the Cyberpunk too.
And I
but
just, for the record, I feel like this is what they showed behind closed doors at E3.
they did. This is
Probably.
the exact same one. They picked an iteration of demo that they showed behind closed doors at E3, and they just released it. And it shows
With a pretty good voiceover. I kind of enjoyed the guy who voiced it over.
Yeah.
Informative, yet stylish.
Yeah, unlike the voiceover for Biomutant. Fuck that guy. But Cyberpunk. Oh
Job
man.
well done.
Oh man. Oh.
So besides the fact that the visuals were stunning and the details were crisp, they are not holding back on the storyline or the visual effects at all. And I like it because it's literally society with the raw mode slider slid all the way up.
The raw mode?
Yes. The raw meter is all the way up.
So, if you have zero context for what Cyberpunk the genre is, or Cyberpunk 2077, go watch Judge Dredd. Or
pretty much that's actually a really good analogy. It would be a Judge Dredd video game, but you're not Judge Dredd. You're some other person in that world.
One of those ne'er-do-wells inside Judge Dredd. That's kind of what the game is shaping up to be.
So now when you play the game, you're going to be peeking over your shoulder like, was there a Judge Dredd? Like, a Judge Dredd Easter egg would be perfect for this game.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you could
know
find
what's gonna
somebody
happen.
somewhere in a totally remote location that only appears after a certain decision, and it was a Judge Dredd, that would be perfect for this game.
So
or
they
even if they had
showed
like a Judge Dredd helmet inside an office or something somewhere. Just anything.
It's gonna happen. So they showed a side quest at close to the beginning of the game. And if you're familiar with Witcher at all, it's not going to be a hell of a surprise to you how in-depth their side quests are, but I knew it blew Arcadius' socks off, so he can talk about that bit.
So basically the entire demo, like we just said, was a side quest. Not a main quest, a side quest. And in the side quest, they showed how 3 different major decisions made with that side quest completely altered how the quest was executed, what you received out of that side quest, and what you had to do to complete the side quest. And it about 6 different avenues you could have just immediately dropped dead due to being filled with lead and plasma or whatever's in those weapons. But the fact that they articulated how precise that the side quest would narrate you a different story for just being a side quest and not just like a voiceover line, but you still physically go do the same thing. No, it would physically alter where you could go and what you could do in the levels. That level, I think I've said, of specificity with the side stuff to me is awesome.
Yeah.
And that gives the game a lot of replayability. Because you could totally diverge somewhere at the beginning or even in the middle and go way off course and replay the game to simply change your very first decision and end up in a totally different area. Or a totally different manner in which the game is played, and a totally different viewpoint and story that's told. That by itself seems super enjoyable. Will play.
It's going to be really cool. Really, really cool. What we're doing? We're doing this. But I can't select it.
I was really excited to see that, like Arcades was mentioning, the depths of the character creation, the depths of how you can affect your own environment, like in your apartment. How you can how deeply you'll wind up eventually being able to customize yourself, and then in the gameplay elements, how it looked like there was a different like stimulants that you can use to augment your physical capabilities or your cybernetic capabilities or
Yeah.
Yep.
however that worked out. That seemed really cool. Like, so the different systems that it looks like are going into the game really interests me from just like even a storytelling perspective. Like, I like cyberpunk. I really enjoy seeing people's ideas of how that would work, and since it seems like it's increasingly near future tech, it's just really cool to
All right.
see
Was
it here.
everyone not enamored by the submachine gun that had tracer bullets that flew to the enemies' heads and around corners?
Oh yeah, it was a smart submachine gun.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
it
and
flew
the next jaw
around.
drop was a perk ability because they obviously unlocked a ton of perk abilities midway through the level just so they could demo them for you. But the ability to do trajectory tracing where you could ricochet bullets off of walls via a dotted vector line coming out of your gun and essentially shoot people around corners by bouncing them off objects.
Yeah,
Ah,
absolutely.
yes. Yes.
But you're
Would
forgetting
play.
the part where you changed your arms into fucking mantis blades and then hung off of the
Okay.
wall,
Yeah,
where you
yeah,
hacked the
there's
dude's weapon so that he couldn't shoot you, and then you slit the throat of the guy next to him as a guy fumbled around with his essentially
yes.
dildo bat, and then sliced his head off too because fuck that guy also.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Yes, I am completely understanding of what was going on there. So they demoed a lot of stuff. Some of it, I guess, was a little reminiscent of the maneuverability of what's that? Mirror's Edge. It reminded me a little bit of
A
some
little
Mirror's
bit.
Edge
I can see
movement
that.
mechanics where you can like grab on, but then they add the fact that, oh yeah, you can just hang on the wall here with your mantis arms and then hack stuff and shoot at stuff and just do whatever. So it looks like you'll have quite a few combo abilities besides the fact that you have all these crazy augmentations to Rolodex through,
Rolodex through. They also
basically.
mentioned that they specifically, like, they pointed this out. Wasn't a thing that people picked out of the woodwork or anything like that. There's no class system in the game. You
Yeah.
can
No,
do
you
whatever.
are the
You just tailor
class.
yourself to the way you want to play through whatever it is that you choose to like make your character into, which I thought was really really cool.
Exactly. So you can essentially pick your favorite augments that you already know are going to be BAMF once developed, and just go all the way with it.
Yeah. Yep. 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 Yep.
Very
Yep.
worth.
Yep. 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 Not to mention that the crowds were like insane for
Yeah.
Yes.
the crowds and the atmosphere and like all the people cursing at you at one time, the cacophony of angry worldness that was in that game was so good.
And the other thing was that the nighttime and daytime are seamlessly transitioned, and the city acts different at night as it does day. Like
Yeah.
it
Oh
has
yeah.
a nightlife, as they said. So that's again, that just adds. So on top of the layers and dynamics of the fact that you can do these side missions, and they adjust what happens to you in the world, it will now happen to you at two different points in the day, night or daytime.
Yeah.
So yeah, the the level of crazy that you'll probably see and experience in this game, besides trying to wade through the story that's placed in front of you, is going to be pretty legit, in my opinion.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Again, will purchase, will enjoy.
Well, we just crossed time. Uh, anything after this is icing on the cake. Is there anything that y'all want to talk about? We haven't hit Biomutant. We can talk a little
I
bit
think
about that.
we just keep on rolling. Like we have a good break.
Yeah.
Keep on rolling.
Okay. So do we want to talk about Biomutant for a little bit?
Let's hit Biomutant.
I know
'Cause
that
I thought it looked
recently
cool.
they said it was delayed, and I don't know to how long, but the game looked cool. You could. They showed this off before, but they really showed it to pretty good effect this time, where changing the stats of your character changed the way your character looked. For instance,
Yeah.
if you
A little piece of me doesn't like that because
chose
I want
high,
to be fly, but also have the good stuff.
if you chose high intelligence, you had a huge head because your brain's so big.
Yeah, not a fan of that.
Wait, you don't want a huge head?
I don't want a giant brain head. I want a sleek head, normal head.
You were
Sleek head.
I want a big bulb on my head with like little brain veins. Like I'm a super brainiac with a super, whatever plugged into my head.
Real talk, does it make your hitbox bigger? That's what we should be asking.
I'm gonna go with maybe.
That's a safe bet. That is a safe bet.
So, do not want.
You're not getting Biomutant?
Well, no, I don't want a big head, but
Oh, okay.
Biomutant's a different kind of game. It almost a little bit kind of reminded me of like some spore mechanics mixed in there.
Kind of.
How you can like develop and change your character based on things you do and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Spore wasn't exactly like that, but it was close in some aspects.
I mean, let's be honest. Spore fell short pretty heavily in a lot of categories.
Yeah. It was just mindless fun. I wish they'd bring it back, but
I mean, you can still play it. They had some DLC and stuff for it. If you really wanted.
It's just not the same.
Well, I really like the world that they were showing more of in the gameplay trailer and the gameplay that they released, and it looked like some of the enemies you were fighting in a really odd way kind of reminded me of Nier, the most recent Nier. Not the way you were fighting them, but just the general kind of offness.
Like the look of them.
Kind of cute. Yeah, they were like if you're playing, I don't know, like Conker or Diddy Kong or something like that, but they're just like a little off,
Yeah.
And that kind of feeling reminded me of Nier. But it also looked like there's some really cool mechanics in the game too, in terms of like your combat. It looked like you're gonna be able to fight in a giant mecha, or at least travel the world in a giant like mecha creature.
Well, you got to choose its head in the demo, and they chose a duck head instead of like an awning tarp or like something else.
And then it looked like you were also underwater in like a giant squid machine.
Yeah.
It was like a little weird submarine.
Interesting stuff. But I do have a gripe about Biomutant. I have a gripe. And it is the narrator voiceover guy. You are a fuzzy creature with a 2x4 that has nails in it, slitting the throats of other fuzzy creatures that have 2x4s that are also slitting the throats of other creatures. And the guy is being overly British in your ear, talking about, oh, in the old days, this is where the choo-choos used to sit. That guy was so amazingly obnoxious to me that if anything like that stays, if I can't just completely silence him, I won't be getting this game. I was interested in this game. I really was.
So turned off by the narrator.
But the guy,
will dump.
The guy would not shut the fuck up at all. Let me kill these innocent little like psychotic creatures by myself. I don't need any British narration or anything like that. Okay, you calm down. Don't talk to me. All right. No.
So can't do it. Wait for the game to come out. Watch a little bit. Make sure his voice isn't there, and then buy it.
Yeah.
Watch some gameplay and make sure voice is gone.
Did not like the guy.
That's funny.
Other than that, it looks nice.
Looks nice. Well, don't sound nice.
Yeah.
I certainly hope they don't have like a Bastion like mechanic to it, because that's going to be disappointing.
Like an Overwatch Bastion mechanic?
Oh no, like the game Bastion mechanic where you had that narrator.
Oh, I never played it, so.
Oh, you really should. It was really good.
I've been meaning to play it and also Transistor, but I haven't gotten around to it.
Those two, and there's one more game that I got for free during one of PlayStation's months, and I can't remember the name of it right now. But it actually had an amazing narrator, kind of like that too. Not annoying like
amazing.
Bones, not to me annoying, but he really made the kind of black humor in this game. I can't remember the name of it though. It's in my library. I'll look for it later.
All right. Yeah. Oh, it put me off so bad. What is left on the list? I think that's about everything that we've spoken about. Let me pull it up one more time. Oops. Yep.
We didn't talk about Metro. We didn't talk about Anthem, Call of Cthulhu, Nvidia.
Oh yeah.
Dark Pictures, Jump Force.
Jump
Force.
Force.
Don't have as much to say. Yeah, look, I want to
Shonen Jump, the video game.
Yes. Did you guys see that trailer?
Yeah, I did. Just characters from Dragon Ball Z and Bleach and One Piece and Naruto. Yeah.
Let's take all the characters together that all are the best in their worlds and somehow come up with a really muxed up powering system to try and rank them all against one another. Like, that to me just seems like an attempt at failure. Like, to try and do that any justice just seems like it will not, and it's going to be a major letdown.
So you're not here to answer the question, who would win in a battle between?
No,
Between
I'm not.
Who?
Just character X and character Y.
Goku? Like, look, I watched the trailer and I was mildly
Goku,
offended.
he wins.
Like, mildly offended? Why?
Because they had Hisoka from Hunter x Hunter versus Zoro from One Piece, and Zoro was losing? I was like, no, he wouldn't lose.
I mean, Goku comes in, he wipes the floor with everyone, game over. It's done.
Goku?
That's it.
Who was beaten by Cell? No.
Just gonna wipe everything.
No. Arcadius
Will
is saving.
He really?
I don't think so.
Really?
I don't think so.
What?
I mean, and then you have to think, and I'm not actually going to have this conversation because I don't really care. The thing that was odd to me about this game was the way they rendered the characters. Like
cell shade?
Yeah, it wasn't a cell shaded game. Like if it was cell shaded, I think I wouldn't have been in a slightly less uncanny valley. But
they're anime characters.
Yeah.
Can you get a uncanny valley in an anime character?
Look, they had like realistic or pseudo-realistic skin. Like it wasn't a cel-shaded version of the character. They actually gave them almost like a Mortal Kombat like design.
Okay, yeah, I know where you're coming from.
Flat, and then their eyes were flat, like
dolls,
cel-shaded,
like teddy bears.
It was really weird, like to have that kind of like 3D texture body and then flat anime eyes, like drawn eyes. It was really.
It didn't
weird.
Exactly match well.
I mean, it didn't really bother me much, but
Yeah,
I'm not all that invested in the game.
I didn't really say much about it because I'm just like, video game.
Yeah.
Intro graphics.
Not really my
thing.
thing.
Intro graphics would be different than actual gameplay, so.
I think it just would have been more pleasing to the eye if it were all cel shaded, but I see why they did that. Anyway,
yeah.
It's a thing. It's coming. It's going to make people happy.
It will. You know what else will make me happy, personally, much more happy than Jump Force, is Metro Exodus.
Let's talk about this. Did you guys watch this gameplay trailer?
I absolutely did. Two things that I picked out immediately. One, there was no irradiated zombie bear. Where did it go? I need my irradiated zombie bear. That's, the stuff that goes on here now. And 2, Metro is going to look so much better when it's not inside a Russian gray pipe. Because that's what Metro has been. Don't get me wrong, it's really good. The games are fantastic. If you haven't played it, there's a Metro bundle that you can get. I think it's called Redux. And it's very worth playing if you're into first-person shooters and all that business. It's a lot of fun. And you get to pick up Russian idioms, and then people are going to turn you into Homeland Security. It's a fun time.
Well, I did like that they mentioned that they were taking the game out into different areas of Russia. So they have the game in the gameplay trailer that I watched. They were in the taiga. Mm-hmm. They mentioned the seasons, which I thought was really cool. So as you progress across Russia on your madcap train of death or wherever it is you're going, or how you're going there, you can start in summer, and then you'll go to fall, then you'll have winter, and then spring, or however they'll move you through that. So you'll have a seasonal change, and then you'll have a day-night cycle, and the enemies that you have during the night will be different from the enemies that you have during the day, that kind of thing. It seemed really cool to me.
Yeah. It looks very pretty. I mean, that's a really simple sentence for what we're talking about, but it really does. It really does.
Got rich color.
I mean, I was going to be playing it anyway, so I can't really exactly come at it with an objective head.
Yeah, it's a little jaded. Just a little bit.
Yeah.
A little biased.
But, I mean, if we want to talk about bias, we could go on to Anthem and what they talked about Anthem. Because, Anthem.
Train. It's coming. And they're giving us a little bit more information every time.
Yeah. They didn't really give us a whole lot at Gamescom. It was mostly what they already talked about, really.
Yeah. There was a video that advertised telling us more about the 4th suit, and it was absolutely not at all about that.
I mean, they told you a little bit about it.
Comment were like, clickbait video. They were really upset that the amount that they talked about it was just the name and a couple lines on it, and that's it. Nothing.
Well, that's fine with me. That's a couple lines more than we knew before.
True, but
I'm not going to be one of those people that's going to nitpick and be like, this is not what I wanted because it didn't have more than 500 words associated with it.
Or a picture.
Yeah. Which happened to Cyberpunk, by the way. They released 4 screenshots of what was going on in the game, and they were like, the community was like, this is all we get? This is bullshit! I hate you! I hate everything! Really? Bro? This is what you've devolved into? Asshole?
Bruh.
Oh my gosh. Well, real quick, I forgot to mention this, but they released some of the concept art for Cyberpunk, and that looks amazing.
Yeah.
I didn't change my current current laptop background from it, but I was really close.
They looked beautiful. Here. Southpaw. Do we have anything more to say about Anthem? They didn't really say a whole bunch.
It wasn't exactly a whole lot.
Yeah.
No, and they had announced that they were doing another Anthem Ask Me Anything before Gamescom, but they didn't post any of the answers, so I don't know if they didn't get a lot of questions or if it was too repeated or...
I don't know.
But I'll keep an eye on that and see if they have anything else, because the last one I thought we got a couple of good things out of it.
I know that they mentioned that the video that I watched had a person that asked, can the community look forward to a demo or anything very soon? And the representative of BioWare said, yes, you can expect something like that very soon, which I think was his words. So we might be getting our hands on it relatively quickly.
Sooner than later.
Yeah.
That'll be good.
I mean, if it ends up like the Destiny beta that unlocked half of the game and didn't
gonna
tell you
and no
that
one
it
knew
was
it at the time.
half of the game, Yeah. We'll see.
I feel like we've had better luck with betas.
Better luck with betas. Yeah.
Better luck with betas since then.
Well, yeah, because no one wants to repeat that disaster. Then you'll just be called Destiny 2, 2.0.
I mean, they're running the risk of that happening anyway, which is kind of scary.
Did it not already happen?
Yeah, it did.
I'm talking with Destiny.
But that's why they're just trying to avoid it at all costs.
Oh man. Don't step in it, BioWare. Danny needs Dragon Age, okay?
Do it. Gotta get some
Dragon Age is
quality
already in
Dragon
production,
Age.
right?
They're working on something.
Well,
Working on something. Yeah.
Come on, Medieval Fantasy Dating Simulator 4 with dragons.
What is it with you and BioWare and dating simulators?
I just think it's funny to tease everyone about it.
Haven't you like shipped characters before?
Oh, all the time.
Yeah.
That's why I think it's funny.
So, yeah. I mean,
I'm not mocking.
You get it.
I'm not mocking. I think it's fun.
Okay. I was worried about the intent, but I stand corrected.
No, please. You're talking to somebody who's has a whole backstory for Moira in the Overwatch universe when they released her dance.
This is true.
It's such a terrible dance that I was like, well, but clearly something that had choreography. So I was thinking to myself, maybe she was part of a UK girl group, and that's how she paid for Evil Medicine School.
Evil Medicine School?
I'm just saying.
Evil Medicine School.
The side alley girls?
That's how she paid for it. She was in a girl group. Blizzard isn't giving me anything else, and this is the best answer that I have.
Like a really rough and tough tag girl group, or like
Spice Girls 2077. That's
okay.
But
okay.
she's bad at it.
She has mantis
dance,
arms.
So that's why she left.
Yeah.
All right, digressing. Next on the list, because there's still a couple more things.
Let me back away from Doc Mercy so he doesn't blow my face off, and I'll consult said list. Cover me. Turn on you. We can talk about the NVIDIA graphics cards. We have Call of Cthulhu. We have Rage, which I didn't really look at all that much.
All right, that NVIDIA graphics card. Oh my goodness. The spec that stood out to me the most. They said if you took the top, I think it was GTX graphics cards, and you held them up to this latest one, which I'm trying to remember the series of the RTX, I think line.
Is what it is. That's the one that's coming out. One? Yeah.
Yeah. If you held it up to it at full power, it would take 10 GTX cards to do the equivalent of what this new RTX card will do, which is insane.
Yeah.
Couple that with the new laser rendering technology that they're going to use instead of individual light resolution schemes, it's going to be a ridiculously powerful graphics card.
Oh yeah.
And for goodness sakes, I think the freaking cores in the graphics card are in like the 1.5 gigahertz for a graphics card.
Yeah, I think that's true.
Maybe for me, I'm just like out of the loop of graphics cards because I'm no PC builder. But that's more powerful than my first laptop was.
Yeah.
Like
in a GPU.
In a GPU.
I mean, we're not talking anything other than just a GPU.
With an onboard built-in 16 gigs of RAM. Jesus Cristo.
Yeah, dude.
When it comes to video cards, I am behind the times because that is just holy smokes.
Well,
for GPU.
This is 1080 Titans, so
I know.
Which is like the cutting edge of what NVIDIA has right now. So you're not that far away.
I guess not, but goodness.
Real quick, for someone who doesn't quite get the laser graphicing thing that we talked about last time. Could you go over it one more time?
Like the ray scattering? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, the ray scattering.
Yes,
Thank
ray
you.
scattering.
Because I didn't quite get. I read it and I
Okay.
listened to you guys talk about it, and I was still like, what?
So the way that they've worked it previously was that they would need a bunch of different light sources and try to make it cohesive so that it all looks like the light sources emanated from one area, and that takes a lot of processing power to have all of these different light sources interact with all of these different surfaces. And then even then you might have to tweak the color or the reflection of each surface and tailor it to how you want it to react. And all of that is freed up now because what they do is they can set a light source and they can essentially say, we are emitting all light sources from like this single point. And they are acting like this is, they're essentially bouncing a laser off of every single object and using that as an aggregate to think about how light would interact with everything as a whole, rather than having to program in every texture.
A built-in averaging optimizing algorithm.
Yeah.
For a given set of surfaces. So you can have multiple laser points to multiple surfaces, and even though those surfaces might be close, the laser determines just how far apart or what the difference is between those two, and then creates the lighting effect difference based on a singular laser distance.
Yep.
And so because you've now taken really intensive hundreds of thousands of light ray sources and various skins, and you've now reduced them into just a handful of laser sources and the aggregate processing that comes with each laser source in singular, but acts as a group, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So, are these going to be in... These aren't going to be in the, like, next-gen consoles, right? These are just for PC.
No, this is straight up the latest and greatest that PC has to offer. Because the latest and greatest are always usually for PC. If a console got that, it'd be like, oh my goodness.
Well, you know that's where it's going, right?
I know, but I'm just saying, like, for right now, if a console, like, if it was announced that the PS, 5 is going to have that graphics card, people would just be like, how fast can I give you my money?
Well, think about it. They said that, then this is kind of a recent thing, they mentioned that we would probably have to wait about 3 years for a new PlayStation. That's straight from Sony themselves. And within 3 years, feasibly, this technology could be more affordable.
And now that NVIDIA is the first one to come out with, you know for a fact that Radeon is going to be right behind them. So it's just a matter of time.
I don't really know about Radeon doing that because they've been chewing on NVIDIA's dust for so long right now.
But if they want to be competitive, now that it's kind of being executed in an entirely different manner, they're going to have to at least step up the game to try and come up with something that even resembles or matches it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm all for competition. That's what drives markets.
Oh, yeah.
That's what drives innovation.
Yep.
Innovation.
So, Danny, you're saying that you really want to see how games look. They have a little demo of, like, NVIDIA put out a little demo of essentially ray tracing technology. It's of like a little NVIDIA colored Iron Man guy getting suited up and then having a dance with some robotic arms that suited him up. It's out there if you want to take a look at it. And it does look really cool. We can post the links in our,
let's put
in
a
our
link
link
in the
dump.
video.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could definitely do that. I will say that the NVIDIA like conference was either the day before Gamescom officially opened or the day Gamescom officially opened, and I tried to listen to some of it. It was like 5 hours long. and it was interesting, but also pretty boring.
Yeah,
The
it's
guy who's speaking, I mean.
it's dry. Like when you get to things like that, it gets real dry.
It's very technical in
Yeah.
an instance of something that I've never truly been interested in. I like the end result.
It turns
to
off
understand
the
what technology
non-technical.
behind it.
Yeah. Where's this guy over here? Is he hiding back here?
All right. Did you guys look at the Call of Cthulhu?
I did.
I think I saw a piece of it.
Oh, I have a pistol. Ow. I looked at it, and it reminded me of another game. I can't quite remember what it was, but it even involved paintings in an old ruddy mansion and all of that. It didn't have Cthulhu in it. It had other demented things, like creepy-ass doll that kept running into the same chest of drawers over and over, depending on which way you walk through the puzzle. The Layers of Fear is what it's called. And Layers of Fear is pretty cool. I liked it a lot. And if they can deliver something like that, but with Lovecraftian elements, more so than what we got, I'll be all happy.
Well, I will say, and I've never played this game, but I knew that it was a thing, that the video game is based on a tabletop game.
Yeah.
Called Call of Cthulhu. I feel like I've had some friends who've played it, but I haven't. I've only dipped very, very slightly in the world of tabletop gaming. But the style that they have in this game looks incredible. And just a little bit from the gameplay trailer, like, if they execute it well, it looks like your descent into madness is going to be super cool.
Yeah.
If you're into that kind of thing.
I'm into descending into madness.
Oh gosh, I'm about to die.
Don't die. Oh, that dude's right there. I don't know if we can get you.
Scooting. Hold on, I'm scooting back, and so is he.
Keep him there. Keep him there. Yeah.
I'm trying. Oh no, he charged me.
How strong is this dude? I don't remember him being this hard.
Very.
Ah! I looked down at the chat and he was right in my face.
So there was another, like, kind of horror sci-fi madness game that was announced at Gamescom as well, and this was the Dark Picture Anthology.
I didn't look at this, sadly, so
okay.
Tell me about it.
Now this one was actually really cool. It was from the makers of Until Dawn.
Okay.
And they showed, like, to me, a really good trailer, really showing off the, like, motion capture. One of the actors that they got for it, I cannot recall his name right now, but it was either the guy who played Iceman in the original X-Men movies or his twin. One of those. It was one of those guys, but, like, he's in it. And they're setting it up as an anthology, so it'll have multiple entries, each with a different story to tell.
Okay.
And this first one, it looks like you and, I don't know, like 4 or 5 friends are off the coast of are exploring some kind of underground World War II shipwreckage. You go down there, someone is like, don't bring anything back because this place is weird, and of course you guys are,
Yeah. We all watched Indiana Jones.
Mm-hmm.
And
Don't touch the thing. Touch the thing.
Rolling boulder.
Touched. And and so it looked really cool. It looked like the horror elements weren't just like jump scares. Like,
that's good.
Then
it was actual
like
horror, like.
It looked like it was actual horror. There's one moment I was like, oh, I didn't expect that, and that was kind of scary. We all know how I feel about being scared.
Horror genre's not me. Can't do it.
Like it. But it looked cool. So
Dead
even though
Space
it's not
ruined it
I'm going to
forever.
play,
And then Dead Space was ruined by EA.
Yeah, I heard about that.
So, yeah.
Way to go, EA. Chalk up another one on the death board.
On the death board.
And I think that was the last game that I had on the list.
All right. Well, as soon as I am not immediately exploded in the face, I will cut the stream. What happened to you? You're on fire.
I got exploded in the face.
Wow. Okay. Oh, we're all down.
All
right.
Yeah, this is not good. Hold on, there's a psycho coming up. Maybe we can get him.
I'm up.
Well, it seems like that about ends it for our Gamescom podcast show thing deal that we do, episode 28-ish. Danny says, bye guys, see you later, Danny.
Bye, Danny.
If you liked
Always a
what you listened
pleasure.
to, if you like what you listened to, come and talk to us on YouTube or Twitch. We stream every Tuesday. Follow us on Twitter. We post all of our links there. And we will see y'all later. Bye!